hang on. All right, there we go. I have to make sure because I got 2 mics tonight. So one integrated and one on the overhead.
Listen to that.
So,
Listen to that soft piano.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, it's very nice. Very soothing.
I was trying for something soothing for the night, but it's my son-in-law's music. So, I always support him when I can. So, they're putting up with
that actually his music?
Yeah, it's his music.
Nice.
He wrote it for his master's program.
I love piano.
So,
I can't play for shit, but I love the way it sounds.
No, you can't. You ask me to play an instrument, it's like asking me to speak 4 languages, so I can't do it.
Yep.
Yeah, so no. So update for the channel. This is probably going to be my time for the next foreseeable future. Once everything gets kind of normalized in the rest of my life, we will do something different.
Yeah.
Maybe. Just depends. We'll see how that works.
It takes time, brother. Take your time,
You know what? The way it works right now, it is what it is. I'm just going to roll with it and try to get going on it.
What are you working on?
This is actually a therapy project.
Nice.
My therapist has challenged me to making a picture of the future me. So I had some bits and pieces, and I was like, yeah, I think I should do this. I originally wanted this to be my Legion's Lion-O tribute.
Yeah.
But now it's just going to be me. Because one of the things I found out in my original premarital counseling is that I am a golden retriever lion. So this makes sense to use this.
A golden retriever lion, huh?
Yeah, golden retriever lion. Golden retriever, unfortunately, runs my life. The lion doesn't.
Yeah.
So this is the head.
Oh, nice.
I primed it last night, so it'll be ready.
Very nice.
This is the torso. And I've got a Romulus somewhere that I've got to tear the arm off of so that I can use it for the other arm, because I don't know if I want an armored arm for the second arm. But I've got this arm, and I managed to get some green stuff, which I've never used. So I am using it.
Green stuff? Is that the Tamiya stuff?
It's the Army Painter.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, Ken?
What's up, Ken?
Whoa, something's going on with my volume here. There we go. I can't stay long, but I'm on the way down to the parkade at work, but figured I'd say hello to everybody. Well, it was a bit of a surprise to know ToyPherapy would be on tonight.
It was a surprise to all of us.
Pleasant surprise.
Well, you know what? I was panicking because I was like, you know what? If I get stuck in doing this custom, I probably will miss chats and like ignoring people. I'll get to listen to the music while I'm doing this, but
Ken, it looks really pretty there.
Yeah, I probably should send
in the clubhouse. I'm giving you the good side of the view, but I might start disrupting people pretty soon. So I just wanted to give it a quick hello and welcome ToyPherapy back, hopefully on a permanent basis or maybe temporarily. I don't know.
It's going to be fairly permanent basis. I just got to start getting guests again.
Awesome. So okay. Thank you for letting me make the cameo and have a good stream. But I got to hit the road. So
take it easy, Ken.
You can.
Have a good one.
Thanks, folks. Have a good one. Bye.
I think that's just news we're excited about, period.
So what I'm doing with this is I am going to build this arm up to do a fur on it so that it can be somewhat matching.
Oh, so you're going to sculpt the fur into the green stuff?
Yeah. Because it's a regular human flesh tone and flesh arm. So
yep.
I'm not doing fur all the way down, just on the shoulders.
So the question is, are you doing a lion tail or a golden retriever tail?
I don't know. I don't have the figure I have doesn't have a boom boom hole, so there won't be any tail.
Oh, okay. That's probably safer that way.
Yeah.
We could find
Temptation
you
for
a
the kid.
crotch with a boom boom hole on it. I'm sure there's one out there. That's a sentence you don't hear every day.
Oh, I'm
could
sure
always-
there is.
I'd be really dirty and say you could always peg your own hole into there, but
I could probably use my pin vise and get a decent size hole in there to make one.
Use that pin vise and get
That's
that
right.
hole in there. Get
peg
all
that hole right in there. Go for it.
Yeah, I don't know that. I was hoping this metal wire brush would work a little bit better on this, but it's not bad. I'm probably just gonna have to scroll. I have to do this the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, use a razor blade.
My little favorite friends sit over there and didn't do much. Hadn't had to pull these out yet. I bought them and then never got to use them. So
Is that a bag of sculpting tools?
yeah,
Yeah.
I've got this and I've got another one that's for clay. And I didn't really get to use them, so figured might as well use them now, right?
Exactly.
No better time than the present.
So I'm going to say hey to the people in the
let's go
chat.
down
It
there.
looks like there's quite a few here. Mr. Wonderful was here earlier. First saying hey. Allison, hello, Allison. Mr. Nolan, we are official. We are now YouTube.
Right.
We are now streaming. And there's Eldor. Hey, Eldor, how you doing?
What's going on?
And there's Ed, of course, playing his, two themes at once.
That's right.
Got to be in two places.
Gotta be.
Master of it. K-Roll's in the house.
Yes.
And-
K-Roll.
Saw somebody else. Where was it? Lots of in chat. Lots of in chat. Hey, Duchess.
Duchess.
Good to see
Hey,
you, Duchess.
Bobby.
Bobby Dangerously. Love it.
Zazel, how you doing? Hope everything's
going
well
on,
with you,
Zazel?
sir. And whoop, hang on. Where it went? Larry, hang on. Where'd you go? Show it.
Go
No,
fast.
that's not
Go
who I was
fast.
trying to show. Dang it. Right there. What's up, Terry?
Going
All the
on.
way in the UK
That's why it's
Appreciate
popping up
you.
in the morning.
to hang out with me.
That's right.
Allison's giving away my secrets. 2 in the stink, 1 in the pink.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Damn, Allison. You're
That's not
supposed to give
good.
that secret away.
Let's just broadcast it more.
That's right. Damn. All my dirty thoughts exposed.
There you
Well, I
go.
mean, we've already talked about sticking pin vices into boom boom
That's
holes.
right.
Exactly. We kind of set the bar low on that one.
That's kind of how I feel about life today, anyway. You know, stick 2 in the stink, 1 in the pink, call it a day. It's
That's what happens. Get 3 clubhouse alumni. You never know what's going to go on.
That's right.
Yeah, well, when you start getting to 3 a.m., that's when it starts getting a little weird. Just saying.
Fortunately for Terry TJC, I mean that's what time it's over there.
Yeah,
We're accurate. It's 3 a.m. somewhere.
it's always 3 a.m. somewhere.
TJC's wondering, is it ever normal on that show? Because when I catch it, it's always 2 a.m. or later.
That's right. I mean, that's just how we roll on the Saturday nights.
We don't do normal very well, do we?
Yeah.
We're
No.
definitely misfits, and that's okay.
Normally's
That's
boring.
who we are.
You
I will
can't
always be a misfit, and I am happy being a misfit.
That's right. You can't fit us into any kind of mold. We break them, bend them, mold them into what we want. So
We modify boom rules.
that's it. That's exactly it.
What's up with
So
you,
what I'm
Oz? You doing good?
I'm using this tool to kind of shape some fur. It's a little bit longer and choppier than the mold, but honestly, if it was a shoulder fur, it would probably be longer.
Oh, for sure.
I am currently right now working on our thumbnail for this weekend.
For the
It's gonna
birthday
be-
girl?
It's going to be very exciting. We are going to have.
I heard it was going to be a little sassy on Saturday night.
Oh, it's gonna be a bit sassy and a whole lot of assy. I mean, what?
You know, we pretty much cover Sassy every week. So,
It's
as long
gonna
as
have
Lawrence is there, we'll give him all the sass.
Oh,
he
gonna be getting
he does
sass.
seem to be the bringer of the sass. He doesn't bring it himself. He ends up just bringing out.
No,
the
he
sass
ends
from
up
everybody
taking
else.
it. That's the whole point.
He attracts it. He
Yeah.
attracts it.
That's his own fault. I'm just saying. Brings it on himself.
I don't know if Radnob sent it to him, but Radnob showed me a picture last night of Lawrence in bed with his U.S. flag.
My God.
He had it up.
Oh, you know he did. Come on. It's
I hope he did, because it was funny as hell. And then there was some chick laying on the floor underneath the covers, like kicked him out of bed to see the flag.
So there is the fur shaping.
Oh, looking good, dude. Oh yeah, that looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
And that skin tone will work good because it kind of has that
arm.
orange look to it anyway.
So
Like
Yeah, it's gonna end up being gold, like a gold yellow.
yeah.
we've got
Yeah,
Zazel
this is
here
my-
telling
this is
everybody
my,
to hit that
project
like.
from my therapist. She said, "Have you ever thought about doing a custom figure of yourself, in the future self of you?" And I'm like, "Well, no, not really. That never really came to mind." And I was like, "You know what? I got the perfect parts for it." So I was like, "Yeah, you know what? Let's do it."
Let's do it, huh?
Worst that could happen.
Man,
I think it's
terrible.
a good call.
I love that piano, man. That is just amazing. Tell your son-in-law kudos for that, man. That's some good stuff.
I will.
I love some
agree.
good jazz.
Yes. Yeah. Good smooth. Especially when you're working on a project.
Uh-huh.
You know, it really mellows you out, and I don't know, it just makes the whole thing seem
Therapeutic.
you're more relaxed, you know. Yeah, it's very therapeutic because it just kind of lets everything flow.
Well, when I do the lives, I use his music just because it's it's good stuff and it's relaxing and it's soothing and a soothing and relaxing thing that makes me feel better.
And Travis said AWOC just hit 352K.
Woohoo.
Nice.
Wow.
The tribe is
Kicking
expanding.
ass.
I agree.
I was a little worried about it, honestly, because it just seemed like the kind of momentum sales and people, doing the reviews on them kind of just flattened.
Yep.
I think maybe they were just wanting something new. So
I think the problem with the AWOC thing to begin with was that the people that knew about it loved it, but there wasn't a lot of people that knew about it, right? So all of us in this community knew about it and really liked it, but it wasn't broadcast out far enough.
yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way to look at it, right? Like, there was a limited community push, and when you're dipping back into that
I think
same
initially
pool,
with what they had to offer, I think eventually people just wanted something a little bit more diverse.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the Kickstarter kind of gives them.
Yep. I think
Right.
Rick said it best when he said something along the lines of, it's just monkeys and cats, right? Somebody had told them that, right? And that's kind of what people thought.
Yep.
oh yeah, for sure. Like, you're only going to get so much out of, so little. I mean, honestly, it's with the amount of bucks that they had, they did an amazing job with all the figure variations that you could do and everything with what they had. And that was incredible and phenomenal. And it helped get the word out. It attracted enough people to really push it and get something into our hands that was tangible, that we could be like, okay, this is great, right? It's not just hopes and dreams that we're going to get something better. And it set a bar and it set a standard that we can kind of match to. Now we've got more variation, more bucks, more detail coming, a lot of people investing into the future of the line, which first off, as far as Kickstarters, I've never seen it done like that before. But it's genius because it's going to hopefully prevent them from having to do a Kickstarter later, right? Hopefully this will get them enough momentum and enough things under the ground. Now, and the way they've been doing this press tour all across the different channels for ToyTube and everything, they've had such a larger sampling of the audience. And of course, with a lot of us kind of co-signing and following along with it and promoting it, talking about how great it is, because most of us have had firsthand experience with the figures. So we know what's great about them. You don't see articulation like them. Even on a big boy like Thane, you do
And he
not.
should be. This is one of the guards. This is the thing.
Right.
This is the other one.
Right. It's that same buck, that same build, though, right?
Big ass buck. It should be more balanced than it is, but
Yeah.
That's what's insane about it, right?
I did have it come crashing down off the top shelf a couple of times, so
yeah,
it ended up not going on the top shelf anymore.
It's a weapon waiting to hit your head.
I ended up posing it like a gorilla stance, and it was fine after that. So, Travis wants to know what you're painting since he was late.
It's always an interesting first coat or two.
Yeah. So Travis wants to know what you're building, Payne, since he was late to the show.
Who was late?
Travis was late, so he's asking what you're painting.
I am painting a figure of the future me. This is going to be a lion.
Well, you're gonna have to grow some hair and keep hitting that gym, man, because I'll tell you.
Yeah, you know.
Of course, you might have hairy shoulders. We don't know.
It's a visual representation of the internal me.
I think it's a good representation. It's a good size.
Allison with her sass. Speaking of gorillas, insert joke about my ex's mom. Carl's mom?
You know, actually, that's it's almost at this point a better joke for her to just say insert joke about ex-mother-in-law.
It's mostly Mythic Legion stuff, Travis.
Yes. Well, it's even the parts that I got, they're for Mythic Legions, but
yeah, I gotta get some other parts.
Right before he closed up shop and decided he wanted to focus on school or life or whatever. But it is, 90% Mythic Legions. And I have this lovely.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, Darksiders. Yeah. That's War Sword. Gosh, I love that game. This is a phenomenal game if you guys
I'm going to start with the yellow. I'm kind of liking the way it is.
And yellow is always fun to paint over black, so.
Yeah. Well, and it got some contrast with the black.
Oz, are you still building your cemetery display?
Yeah, it's going to be going on the shelf that's currently full of crap right now.
Well, once I finish this Oz, I will get to work on something for you. I have an idea.
I appreciate it.
So it's in my list. It's just a matter of getting around to doing it.
Hey man, however long it takes, I'm never in a rush.
So, and I'll have plenty of time on my hands.
I'm finishing up a Dio Oz that I'm probably going to send to you. Let me go grab it. I'm going to show you. It's just a little display piece, but it might go good in your cemetery. Hold on. I'm going to grab it.
Okay.
It's not finished yet, but I'm going to grab it for you. Hold on.
So, this one's going to be in. I was a little worried when I primed it last night whether or not it was going to really take paint very well, even with the primer. It's doing okay, considering.
I've just been tinkering around with my scrap pieces, so I built this like stone wall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to flock the green part with my green flock, and then paint this is like a little trail path type of thing. So.
Yeah, I can definitely work that in there somehow.
Flock the hell out of it.
Yeah.
What's the depth on that?
I can make it shorter. You know what I mean? Like you could cut this part down. So I think this is like 6 inches or something.
Oh no, that would be absolutely fine.
All right, good. But yeah, I've just been tinkering around. Like I built that speeder bike out of all my scrap pieces of foam. Just been trying to keep busy.
All right. So we were teasing it a little bit, and I'm not exactly done with it yet. But
Hey, Cobb. Hey,
people-
Kenzo.
people like to see what it is Oz is working on. We'll
Should be able to
share
share
a little bit of the. Yeah, here we go, folks. You got a edit screen there.
I will. Give me a second. Find my mouse.
What? What's going on? It's going to be the Alice and Troy Sass Vault Clubhouse Invasion.
There
So,
you go, Allison. You can get it. Get your sass
Gonna
on.
be a big birthday celebration for Allison going through this Saturday night. And
Yeah, she's turning what I'll turn in 2 months.
21. You guys are finally getting of age. We can finally go out and go do all that fun stuff that adults are
Right.
supposed to be able to do. That you quickly
I'm doing
find
the
out
stuff that
isn't
adults
so fun.
should be able to do.
That none of the adults want to do
I'm
anymore.
doing very well,
I was gonna say it was fun for a little while, and then we all reverted
Yeah,
back to
adulting
doing
was
what we
fun
did
for
as
about the
kids.
first month, and then after that, it's just like, this sucks. Can I take this back?
Listen to that. I'm turning what Ed turned 17 years ago. Now my
Oh,
feelings are
Man,
hurt.
she is
Ouch.
kicking the sass in early. I can't wait to see how
Well, that
this
makes
builds
me
up.
67, so I look pretty damn good for 67.
I would have to say, yeah, you're going to do it pretty good for 67 there, Ed.
Got all your hair.
Got all my hair.
I-
Not too many wrinkles.
For 67.
That's right.
Considering all that head
You got to remember,
full
it's the
of
mileage
hair.
Yep,
and the wear and tear.
that's right. So I tell everybody, it's not my numbers of years; it's how much abuse I've given my body in the number of
Exactly.
years, and it's been an excessive amount.
Well, you know, at least you're here on therapy and you can get some help with that.
That's right.
We can attempt to get help, but there is no help for us. Not that kind
No.
of help.
We just go with the flow. It is what it is.
That's right.
Life picks us.
So I was going to try
way
to
back.
share screen for a while longer, but that wasn't happening.
That wasn't it.
Oh, no. It was not trying to
Computer
work.
gonna go, sharing again.
That's exactly what I did. I started hearing it go.
Exactly.
Wi-Fi's going. No way. Cannot do it.
Yeah, I'm surprised I'm able to do the two. You can't even see my hand. I don't know. There we go.
There it is.
I had it set a second ago, and then
Now we can see it better.
there we go.
Right?
Look at that. Look at Aaron's actually working on something. It's not fake.
I know. Not being productive, but I'm
Yeah.
working on something. Productive for me, not productive for everybody else.
That's all good, man. They're just here for the conversation.
That's right.
Yeah, no.
We're all here to have some fun, hang out, be surrounded by friends.
Oh, that looks damn good.
It's a little precursor to a little clubhouse party almost.
That's right. Toilet follow up and precursor to the clubhouse. Good to go.
Yeah. And it makes sense to do it on the day. This is my rest day for the gym. So
Well, Wednesday's a good day for you to pick actually, because there is really I've been usually Wednesday nights. I don't watch anything on the tube that's toy related because there's never anything on.
yeah. I guess
Well,
everybody's
Wednesdays-
back in the middle of the week. There's a toy kind of mood at 9, but
Yeah.
it's 9 my
Right.
time, maybe 10 your time.
So I do know that 9 East Coast time, Duchess does her premiere for the Wicked Wednesdays. And then either before or after Radical Toys will normally do a bit of an unboxing.
I forgot
And
about
then-
Radical Toys being on Wednesdays. Yeah, but
Well, it's because he goes on pretty regular. He seems to be trying to push the Friday show that he does now as his main show, and then he'll also who else is it Wednesdays? Dole does Gotham City tonight. So
and that's at like 8:30 or 9.
right.
all right. So TJC's got to roll out. So have a good day, TJC,
All
or
right,
good
man.
night, whatever.
Rest.
Got
Have a
5
good one.
hours sleep, he said. So
Kenny's telling us to get to paint, Ned. Well, for me, I'm doing digital work, making thumbnails.
I just walked in the door from work literally 5 minutes before I hopped on this show. So
Yeah, I was in the middle of cleaning up and organizing in here and saw the link get dropped from Aaron. I was like, well, I have been summoned. I must go.
I threw off the work clothes, threw on the trusty flannel, and said, "Let's go."
That's right.
Exactly. It wasn't intentionally that way, but I was like, you know what? I'm realizing that if I do this, it's going to be a really boring show because for the most part, I will be concentrating.
Yeah, it's hard to do stuff when you're actually streaming because it, like, even on Saturday night, which is kind of like a free for all. It's like I get focused on building something or doing something, I might as well forget that I'm even on. So,
Right. Definitely one of the things we all saw it this past weekend. Pretty much after Travis got Adam going talking about AWOC, I was just totally like hands off the rest of the show. I'm over here shopping Star Wars, letting them
Still
go. And I'm
looking
like,
for Power of the Force. Finishing off.
Man. So the last two pieces finally came in. My single carded Zuckuss and single carded Boba Fett came in. So now I am all set for May the Power of the Force. And I've actually got one other element coming in, and it's not the armor. I decided to skimp on the armor because I was spending a little much. I mean, there may be a chance I might still get it before I do the video. But this video, Ken is going to be doing a collaboration with me. So Ken's going to be bringing some history. I'm going to be bringing just the, the facts and feelings of, how it was for me getting Star Wars at the time, talking about the figure itself and, the difference between that original and, because again, the original Power of the Force Boba Fett figure from the 80s versus this Power of the Force 2 figure. Going over stuff like that and comparing it along with the other two versions that came out at the same time. So it's going to be a fun video.
Did you end up getting the Boba Fett with the little backpack bounty hunter capture thing that he has?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got all the versions. Hang on a second. Be right back.
But yeah, I got a Omar Monk that I had still from my collection that I'm gonna do for that. So I have an old iPhone that I'm gonna use the recording on, and
that works.
Edit it on it. I have almost no space left on mine.
What are you doing with the big dude?
I am doing some dry brush / highlighting, blackening.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that's one thing. Like the AWOCs look so much nicer with the nice wash on them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the one.
Well, that's the IG-88 2-pack, Shadows of the Empire. Then Deluxe with the giant backpack.
Yep.
And then, of course, now just the regular single carded. I opted out of going for one of the red card backs. Honestly, just because they were a little bit pricier, and I was just like, it's not that important. I'm not worried about the card back rarity or anything like that. I'm just opening it anyway. So
the figure's pretty much the same exact figure, other than the card.
yeah, well, like some of them had half circles. This
Yeah.
one has whole circles, but I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I mean, it's bad enough I've already got 3 of the same damn figure.
That whole thing is what turned me off of Power of the Force. I was collecting the whole entire thing, and then it started getting where it was, half circle, brown gloves, blue pants, brown pants, and it was like, okay, I'm done.
Right.
I'm out.
So then, of course,
Gotta get that collector's market even back then.
Yep.
Yep. I'm going to see if I can actually hold all 4 of these in one bear paw. We'll see if I can get that to work or not.
We have faith in your bear paws.
Nope. I could do 3, but I can't do 4. So there it is. So aside from the IG-88 2-pack, the entire lineup of Empire Strikes Back bounty hunters.
Nice.
So for the first time since 1997, I will have all of them in my collection again. That's huge.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure K-Roll remembers just how excited I was when they had announced that they were doing Star Wars toys again. Because I started losing it. I was in...
I mean, that's what got me back into collecting back in the 90s. That's went from Star Wars to X-Men Toy Biz to...
Right?
Yeah, I was
Exo
collecting...
Squad.
I was collecting some the Toy Biz stuff. I had a couple of Batman figs, mostly G.I. Joe, the tall figures, 12-inch figures. And then I was walking down the toy aisle and I saw the Power of the Force cards and I was like, oh shit. Bought every one they had that was in stock at that point in time. That was, whatever figures that I didn't have. I was like, yeah, that's mine. That one's mine. That one's mine.
Funny thing is, it really didn't improve the articulation.
No, they did no work for articulation
No.
at all. It was strictly just...
And they used the ships from...
What's the worst part?
Oh yeah, they used the old ship molds, which I was really surprised they didn't use the old figure molds. I mean, that was really surprising.
And it was
they didn't
hard getting Dan and Chewie in the damn Millennium Falcon.
right.
That was friggin' fiasco.
So they didn't use the original figure molds. So this is where Oz gets into his history. Because when it comes to Star Wars Power of the Force 90s, I was all over this. Because I was a member of the Star Wars fan club and knew they were coming.
Oh, yeah.
Before they were hitting 12.
How I got my Bomar Monk and my figure in Dan.
That's right.
I got my figure in Dan still, and I don't have my big PR Monk, but I still have a bunch of my, what was the Star Wars magazine?
It
was Star Wars Insider before.
Insider, yep. I still have a bunch of my Insider editions. So.
I still have those magazines somewhere.
Well, the funny part is it used to be exclusive to the fan club. Star Wars Insider, you only got if you were part of the fan club.
Yep.
And then it was like about 10 years later, right around the time the prequel was coming out, I started seeing them in Barnes & Noble. I was like, you sons of bitches.
Yeah.
But yeah, they... So they wanted to get away from doing the original toys again because of the success of He-Man and Ninja Turtles. They wanted all their figures to be muscular and pre-battle posed because that was again, the popular thing at the time. Meanwhile, you got this other company that was still going gangbusters, little company you guys may remember called Hasbro, doing this little toy line called G.I. Joe that did not have rippling, muscled action figures in the same scale. Until Extreme, which was just a year or two later because they were trying to capitalize.
Self-respecting G.I. Joe fan really likes Extreme.
I was going to say, but look what happened to that toy line. It died pretty fast.
As fast as it started, that toy line did.
Yeah, so they should have, honestly, I feel it probably would have been better if they did eventually, right around the time of the prequels, go back to, slowly over time, they stopped doing the muscly, figures and kind of went back to the original ones. But yeah, I mean, I remember getting that the first Luke Skywalker before they did him in his X-Wing gear, Farm Boy Luke, with the Fabio chest and tunic on, coming right off the romance novel book with his chiseled chest.
Yeah.
like trying to fit him in the X-Wing until they came out with the X-Wing pilot, which I was glad they at least measured to make sure the X-Wing pilot could fit in the X-Wing. Oh man.
Yeah, you take a Power of the Force Jedi Luke from Jabba's palace and stand him next to Farm Boy Luke. It looks like he got sick and lost, all of his muscle mass. It's just a disturbing look.
Oh, that looks good with that.
Yeah, the wash always makes those AWOCs look so good with the fur sculpted in.
Well, because there's so much detail there that they just don't.
Little highlights, make that fur pop.
Right.
So real quick, Aaron, the toy enhancer, stopped in. He says he has a shit ton of Power of the Force coming from eBay. I used to have all of it.
I know. I had most of it. This was not a toy line that I got all of. I had most of.
I had like 99% of it through episode 1, and then that's when I just, when I went to see episode 1. After that, I was kind of like, I can't do Star Wars anymore.
Well, see, like when it came down to the original figures and stuff that were coming out at the time, I had everything from the original lineup through Shadows of the Empire. And then right around the time they started doing the green cards, I still was getting, that's when I started getting most and not all. Because like the AT-AT came out, I did not get the AT-AT. But like I had the AT-ST, I had Slave 1, I had the Outrider, I had the Snowspeeder, I had the A-Wing, had the TIE Fighter, like everything.
I love that A-Wing they did. That A-Wing they did was awesome.
Oh yeah, and it came with the pilot too. Like that was another great one. Like just I didn't have Darth Vader's TIE Fighter either. That was the other one I did not have for vehicles. But I really did have a good amount of the lineup. And there was like one or two deluxe, well, like the deluxe figures. I didn't get a whole lot of those either. Uh-oh. We lost Aaron.
Oh, shit. Aaron dropped.
Hey, everybody. We lost the host. We're still here, though. We'll keep
We're stuck now.
We're
stuck. We don't have any idea how to get out.
I'm hoping he realizes that we've lost him.
True story, man. True story. Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, I mean, I was all about this toy line. I absolutely loved it. My sister was probably sick of me talking about Star Wars and doing stuff. But I used to have a giant green tote full of it, all of it. Like I had the Millennium Falcon in there, everything. And I used to take it to my buddy Carl's house, and he was the one who had like Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. He had the AT-AT. So like the things that I just didn't have, he did. And we used to set up like giant freaking battles in his like, family room and everything like that, where we could really get across the floor. Even his older brother, Tony, who was around for the original toys. There he is. He's back.
It happens.
But yeah, like his older brother used to dive in.
Connection versus when I'm on a hard line.
Well, where's the router comparatively?
When Power of the Force came out,
pretty close actually.
Yeah, I went out and got all the vehicles that I didn't have as a kid, right? Because my family was poor when I was growing up, so there was the only vehicle I ever had that was Star Wars was a land speeder, and my brother had the TIE Fighter. So
I had the
when
cardboard play sets.
Yeah, when I got Power of the Force, man, I had it all. But I remember I had the AT-AT and AT-AT. And I remember when Luke was a baby, right? Now, Luke's named after Luke Skywalker, of course. So when he was a baby, I used to sit him on my knee and just push that button continuously because he wanted the button pushed inside the AT-AT and just make it talk and do all the commands. Yeah, he loved it.
Yeah, I know. I
still have that.
I did the same thing, and I bought all the vehicles I never got as a kid.
Yep.
That AT-AT was definitely a grail that I wanted.
Oh, yeah.
That's my worry
now. Must have.
Like that's my worry now. Like all the stuff I couldn't do because it wasn't my money, and now it's like I kind of feel like doing it. But I've limited myself. I told myself just get the bounty hunters.
Yep.
And then I managed to talk myself into well, maybe you could do the Jabba's Palace Dio. So I'm probably gonna eventually set us the.
I have a cardboard one.
Yeah, the cardboard one's pretty cheap, and that could like work for like kind of a background. But
Yeah.
even the one that was just like Jabba's trophy wall thing, that portion of it that's available on like most websites now for relatively reasonable.
Yep.
And then the if I could do that looks good.
Yeah.
I like that. The
Well, if you wanted to sculpt like or cut even like the Jabba's bed or throne, whatever you want to call it, you can make that out of foam relatively
Yeah,
easy.
really easy.
well, and that was the other
You
thing.
get 2-inch foam, and then you could cut.
Yeah.
You could round it, and
Yep.
it'd be an easy sculpt.
Yep.
Well, that was kind of the other thing that I was thinking too with it was that I would just do like the Book of Boba Fett Dio that just came out. You can still get that relatively reasonable too, like under $100. So I was thinking like probably pick that element up and then pick the other ones. And then you're right, like if I could just do the foam walls and everything to kind of match it, like make a little stairwell out of it on the one side and
That'd be
everything.
simple.
Yeah. Now
The hardest part would be making a couple arches because that's always just a pain in the ass to carve arches, but it's
I'd see if Radnom can get it done for me. Now let's face it, I'm gonna get something like that done. Gotta go to the master.
Yep.
Have Radnom have my back on it.
and at 1/18th it wouldn't even be that big, right? I mean, the whole dial would end up being pretty decent size.
Yeah, it would be.
The walls wouldn't have to be that tall or anything like that, being 1/18th scale.
Exactly. Yeah.
You got to get a couple of Gamorrean guards though if you're going to do Jabba's palace.
Oh yes. Yeah. You know what's funny? When I've been looking at the listings, Gamorrean guards are actually one of the harder ones to actually just find, which is crazy because I do not remember them being that popular. But
well, I think it's probably just because that sculpt is actually really nice.
it
that
was
really a
it
good
was one of
sculpt
the
for
better
sure.
ones. They didn't just do the Friar Tuck legs.
Yeah, right.
Well, let's face it, Friar Tuck's legs were the Gamorrean guards. It's not the other way around. But yeah, I'm down. I am so down to be doing that again and trying to get, it was always like one of my dreams as a kid. That's why I was kind of talking about it with the Grails last week, was making that happen. I took that awful special edition Jabba the Hutt that had come out, put him in the top of my Ghostbusters firehouse. And then, of course, I had like the Gamorrean Guard. I had Bib Fortuna. I took the Cantina aliens as well as what they had released as far as Jabba the Hutt's entourage at the time. And I put all of those inside.
And, there was a 2-pack that came from the Collectors Club. It was Ula and something else.
Salacious Crumb.
Yeah.
Was it Salacious Crumb?
Yeah. It was the only way you can get them back then.
Yeah, it was later on, right? When they
released... time they've ever done Ula.
Yeah. It was later on when they released like Riggies and the camel dude, what the hell's his name?
Yak Face.
Yak Face, yeah.
Yep. And then there were still a lot of them they didn't get to until well into Power of the Jedi.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think there's still quite a few they haven't actually done yet that were like more in the background. They did get around to doing some other ones more recently. There was like a pack that just came out last year that they had done some of the other ones they hadn't quite got to yet.
Yeah. Which was funny because they did a ton of the aliens from the Cantina in Mos Eisley Cantina in Power of the Force, but they didn't do a lot of the Jabba's aliens.
Right? The ones from the Cantina, like now, as far as figures go, the only two they don't have are the twins.
Oh, yeah.
The girls.
Yep. Twin girls.
But that's due to likeness rights and everything else. It's got nothing to do with the them actually wanting to make a toy for it. But, she went and tried to say, hey, I'm seeing you guys put all this stuff out there with my face on it, and I'm not getting any money for it because they didn't give her any kind of royalties or anything. And then they were like,
also, I don't think when they were doing it, the only ones that signed away their rights were the main characters.
Well, the deal that they did was for like 2.5% on all sales based off the movie for the main characters.
Yep.
And which turned out to be a genius idea.
Yep.
You know, they just didn't realize it, but nothing like that had been done previously until Star Wars came along.
Yeah, they didn't make Boshek right until Power of the Force, or was that done in the vintage line? He's the pilot from the cantina that's like outside the cantina. His name's Boshek. He's like
He looks remember. Yeah, it just looks like a normal guy almost.
Yeah.
He wasn't done until I think Power of the Jedi.
Yeah, it was later, much later.
Yep. Yeah, there were quite a few that didn't come out until that line. All right, I think I've got this Dio made up. Legacy collection. Okay, Allison was on it. Thank you, Allison. I knew it was around that time.
Yep.
Decided to do some gold highlights in the center.
Yeah, that looks.
That looks great.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of detail in that sword too. Like he definitely, like the imaging for that. If you look at the sword from the game, his 3D file is more detailed than the sword itself from the game.
Yeah. It's a nice sculpt, and the resin that he used is really nice.
Yeah, the gold definitely brings out the detail, though. You can definitely see it a lot better than just.
So Allison also said it wasn't even her; it was her husband, and this is why you don't marry dudes named Carl.
Yep, exactly.
We're Carls. Carls everywhere are crying right now, Allison. I'm just letting you know, because not every Carl is bad.
My brother's name is Carl. I like him, but he's still a dumbass.
My dad's name was Carl. My grandfather's name was Carl too, because my dad was a junior. I was almost a third. Almost.
I was born a third.
Well, they still got the C. They just changed everything else.
The initials are all right, spanning across 4 generations. Because, see, I'm named after Christopher Lee, the actor. This is the only reason I didn't become a third. Because my dad just liked the way that rolled. Lee, we also had an Uncle Lee, so that's part of a family name. But yeah, he says all the time that watching Christopher Lee play Dracula is how I got my name. So I'm Christopher Lee. Carol is Carol Lynn. And then you got my dad. He was Carl Leonard. And then I named my son Connor Lee. And then, of course, my grandfather. So you've got my grandfather, my dad, Carol, myself, and Connor. All CLG.
Nice.
Yep. Hopefully Connor will understand that legacy a little bit. And we got Matthew in here too.
Oh, Matthew.
Matthew's saying Carla's Junior fast food. As opposed to Carl's Junior. I know it's just a slip of the autocorrect there. I'm assuming, unless he actually meant to call it Carla's Jr. Because I've never had that before.
The best comment is Allison's after that. I've eaten at Carl's Jr. Exactly the Carl curse strikes again.
I don't blame her. It's genuinely awful food.
I've never eaten at a Carl's. We don't have them around here. Never have.
Nope. Northeast does not have Carl's Jr. At least not that I'm aware.
You have Hardee's or what's the other name?
We do have Hardee's and Shoney's.
Yeah, I've eaten at
Hardee's.
I've eaten at Hardee's in Pennsylvania, which is part of that chain, but that was a long time ago. So
I was going to say, I think it's been a good 8 or 9 years since the last time I even ate at a Hardee's.
That's like everybody's crazy about the Chick-fil-A now, right? And I remember being in Pittsburgh in my 20s when Chick-fil-A was. Or actually, when I was 19, I was in Pittsburgh, and Chick-fil-A was down there, and it wasn't that great. Now everybody's like, "Oh, Chick-fil-A, I got to go there." It's like
Chick-fil-A got real big around here years ago, like to the point where they'd literally have lines wrapped around the shop.
I don't get it. Their chicken is awful.
That's what I'm saying, right? I don't understand it. It was awful back then, and it's awful still.
Look, I had the chicken. It was
I don't understand
different.
that obsession with their food because their food is terrible.
Well, for me, it was like, okay, I like it better than I like McDonald's.
That's a low bar. I'm just saying.
Hey, I'm just saying.
McDonald's is the low bar of fast
cannot
food.
stand McDonald's food anymore. But I was like, all right, let me.
Arby's is below McDonald's.
Hey, I do enjoy Arby's. That one I do enjoy.
See,
actually, the Arby's around here are starting to look like those mega churches you get down south. So maybe that's where some of that hate can come from. But Well, we started joking calling them Arby's Methodist because they look like those giant kind of like mega churches.
Mhm.
All the Arby's around here closed down. I think there's one left in Western New York.
So Allison saying McChicken and chicken nuggets are the best. That's about the only things I
Yeah,
can
the
eat
chicken
from
nuggets are
McDonald's.
probably the only thing I can eat at McDonald's.
That
Like,
and
the fries
breakfast.
are good. But the fries have
I'm
been
never-
they haven't been as good as they used to be because they changed from beef tallow to vegetable oil, which
Yep.
Just
that
not
makes a
the
huge
same.
difference in the way those fries taste.
Yep.
Well, definitely, considering that they had they had scientists go into the actual chemical composition of flavor enhancing. So it was the beef tallow with the fries with the exact amounts of salt.
Yep.
And then on top of that, they had a specially they have like an exact measurement of the syrup of their Sprite with their seltzer water so that it actually enhances the flavor of the fries. And that's also why Sprite from a McDonald's tastes different, because they did all the market research and then they had scientists go in and actually do all the stuff, breaking it down to the chemical compounds to make
Well, they
sure.
did the same with the Heinz ketchup. The Heinz ketchup they used to come in the pack at McDonald's always tasted different than regular Heinz.
What
ketchup.
you would get in the Heinz ketchup bottle. Oh man, that looks great.
Oh,
and you're really pulling out all those face details they got in
that
there
looks
too.
yummy.
It's just insane, like to think about spending that much in research and development for like a restaurant, but when it's a national change that's making them billions of dollars, that doesn't actually seem that ridiculous anymore.
Speaking of chicken, when I was in Texas, there was a Church's chicken. Church's chicken was good. I enjoyed Church's chicken. It was better than KFC, better than Chick-fil-A.
KFC is not good anymore.
What's that?
Right.
So for me, Popeyes is my favorite fried chicken.
Oh, Popeyes, yeah.
We
don't have Popeyes around here. I liked Popeyes when I was in Texas, but
and then
we got Popeyes here.
If I had to go with the second one, it would probably be, something. It would be like literally like the grocery store that makes good chicken here.
Yeah,
like we have Homelands that make really good fried chicken.
We've got they're actually like a convenience store called Royal Farms, and they sell chicken. Now they used to have like your standard convenience store fare, like the roller with hot dogs and then like your nacho machine. And then they started doing all of these stores with like an actual like eatery in them. And they started doing their chicken. And I swear, and it's not unbelievable that they put crack in that chicken, because I am pretty damn addicted.
What is the name of that convenience store? And I think it's in Baltimore with the big fucking rooster outside of it.
That's Royal Farms.
Is it Royal Farms? Okay. Yeah, they do have good chicken, because I got some when I was down there a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah. What, like I said, you just got to come down and see me. Stop through on your way to Joe Fest.
Silver highlight in the center.
Yes.
Yes, that looks.
Oh, yeah. Good. And like where there's eye sockets, you should probably pop like do different colors.
Some of the eye sockets.
Okay, it's just in the eye sockets. Yeah, okay, I see it better now.
The eye sockets in the like the circular open spaces.
That definitely brought out those damn heads, though. The faces on that swords.
Yeah,
right. Because there's a lot of detail in there that just you need to have that paint on it to really make it
than I was expecting when I got it. I was like, "Yeah, this has got some more detail. That's nice. Less work." Not. I was hoping for a little bit less detail. And then I looked at it. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be working on that one a while."
All right, Allison. Sending the thumbnail to you, and I'll pop it in the Clubhouse group chat too.
Allison, the Church's chicken I ate at was actually in Killeen. It was a walk-up one in Killeen, Texas. It wasn't on the other side.
My grand dog, Sammy.
Oh,
yeah.
Gosh, a puppy.
Yeah, I 10 now. I turned 10 this week. I'm an old man.
Oh, he's an
Oh
old
my
doggy.
goodness.
Yeah,
Oh
oh
my
man.
goodness.
Yeah. Oh, it's Pop busy, and you're just not liking it. All right, get down.
So at some point in time, I'm going to be sitting down with Ken, and we're going to be doing a joint little review of Delta 17 because I just got in Rooster and the Okami Ninja. I was going to
nice.
open them up on Saturday, but I decided to hold off because he was talking about, hey, yeah, if you want, I can do some voiceover for it. I was like, you know what? That'll be cool. We'll do
That's
it that
awesome.
way.
Yeah.
That'll give me some short form
What's up,
content for the
Skydro?
channel. Skydro, good to see you, brother. He went live with us a couple weekends ago. That was amazing.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did. Yes, he did.
Good to finally have him start
Always
crossing
nice
the
to get
lines.
those interesting perspectives of seeing how he puts up and sets up a shot. I love his, when he does the behind the scenes ones.
Oh yeah, well, I like
On
joining
his-
him when he, whenever he goes live. I try to pop in when I can. Sometimes it's while I'm working, so I can't always see it, but I do enjoy hopping into his lives on IG when he goes. And there's even been an occasion where I've jumped on to one of his lives just to hang out and chit chat a little bit. It's fun. Like, you've got the toy YouTuber community, and then you have like the toy IG community.
Yeah.
But there are very, very few that cross the lines between, right? Like Emerald Knight, John, he's kind of finally crossed the line between with, he did a lot of YouTube lives, but now he's started up the whole YouTube channel, Geeked Out Click, with the other people in the click. And, it's trying to help bridge that gap between IG and YouTube because there shouldn't be this divide. We should be united as a community.
No, I mean we're all doing the same things, just different versions.
Right?
Some people don't feel comfortable being on the camera. They like doing the camera stuff rather than being.
Well, that's always true.
So, and I can get that. It's always weird being in front of the camera.
I gotta say, up until I started doing the live with Skelly, I did not want to be on camera, and I'm still slightly uncomfortable with it. But I'm just comfortable around all you guys so much so that it doesn't really bother me.
I think I got over my nerves after about week 3. I still have nerves when I start a show because I figure I might mess something up or say something I don't mean.
I don't
to
mind
say
being in front of the camera, but I hate listening to myself afterwards. So.
Oh yeah, no, I can't go back and watch myself.
No.
That's a no.
It
That's
is
not a no.
it is an important thing to do from time to time, just so you can
I can't stand my
see
voice
what you want to
I
improve.
hear it in my ears, much less when I have to hear it repeated.
And that's a funny thing too, because I've never liked the sound of my voice or hearing it, but I've always been told by everybody I have a great voice, and I'm just like, I do not agree with that. But people keep saying I had a voice to do stuff like this. I still get told a lot. Like, every day, there's at least 1 or 2 people that talk to me over the phone that say, you should be on radio. You're wasting your talents on the phone here. Like, yeah, come subscribe to my YouTube channel. So that way,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have to do the day job anymore if you think
So
I
I
should.
can bore you. Yeah. So we'll talk about toys. Hopefully you'll like toys.
Look, there's nothing boring about Clubhouse.
That's right.
No.
Oz's stats go from the average age of 45 to 75 because all of his old patients are on there now.
Most of the normies, they might take that as being a bit much. You know what I mean?
Yep. So Matt's saying that Emerald Knight is in their collab group too, which is amazing. And Matthew, we know you don't like being on camera, but we appreciate it.
That's why he waits until it's a paywall and then he can be on camera and feel comfortable.
Hey,
it's a much smaller crowd.
The show Matthew and I did with Tony on that movie. What the hell movie was it? Damn, just draw a blank.
Roadhouse?
Anyway, nope, it was the other
one. No, it wasn't Roadhouse. Not for you and him.
No, it was what the hell's the name of the damn movie? Matthew, help me out here.
So I always go back and catch them on the replay.
Yeah. But anyway, that's the highest viewed punks on film. Billy Jack. Yes, Billy Jack.
That is indeed an awesome film, too. I'm going to put this foot on that side of your face, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yep. You got to do Tremors soon. Tremors is another good one.
The original Tremors.
Yeah, first Tremors. Yep.
Second Tremors was still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time they started getting to the third Tremors and then went into the going
Number
into
three,
the
number
whole
three went a little
series,
sideways.
it started to get real awful.
There
But
is
that's
a
when
later one that I
sci-fi
watched.
had it.
Yeah, I think when I watched like later on, there was like a Tremors 5 or 6. It was enjoyable, but it was not, the same, right? It was like,
Yeah.
Well, it's always that thing with sequels. There's a diminishing returns as it goes forward.
yeah.
It can be if they're just kind of like rehashing the same stuff.
Especially when the studios use it as a cash grab. It's like, oh, let's make a second one because it's going to be awesome. It's like, ugh. But you totally threw away everything you developed in the first one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
My Blue
first
Heaven. That's a
Tremors.
good one, Skydro. I love My Blue Heaven.
I don't know that I've seen that one. I'll have to check
Steve
that out.
Martin, Rick Moranis, great.
Oh,
movie.
it's great.
Awesome.
Oh, no, I've definitely seen it if
Yeah.
it's a Steve Martin, especially if
Yeah.
he's teamed with Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
Love the old SCTV guys getting together.
So
and
that
doing
one
stuff.
is when Steve Martin plays like the mafia boss that gets put into protective custody out in the
Witness
middle of the
protection.
suburbs.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then they start
okay.
to boss in the witness protection, which is even
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yep, I do remember that one now. Man, that's been a minute.
Great movie.
Yeah, it is. I mean, honestly, I know the Saturday
And
Night
there's not too many
Live,
Steve Martin movies that I haven't enjoyed.
right?
There's very few Steve Martin. He's one of my favorites.
Well, see, the Saturday Night Live crews tend to get a lot of credit and get big movie pictures and all like that. But back in the day, like the SCTV crew, they got a lot of good deals. And mind you, it's not like they didn't
Strange Brew is
actually.
a fantastic movie.
What's that?
Mhm.
Weird movie, and it's like this perfect weird.
Yeah,
Like, I'm a huge John Candy fan. I love John Candy.
right. John Candy's absolutely amazing. Eugene Levy, like,
Yep.
and when you would get those guys together and the way they would play off of one another was just
Exactly.
amazing.
Yep.
Such a rare. I mean, I don't want to say rare combo to have like so many personalities that work well time and time again together. Because I mean, look at the guys from Broken Lizard, right? Like they work really well together. Unfortunately, it's just kind of like the same jokes, right? Super
Yeah.
Troopers, and then
Tacoma FD wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Tacoma FD was good, and it was nice seeing them as firefighters as opposed to the police. That was kind of funny.
I think with the SCTV guys, though, you didn't have as much ego in there, right? Like some of them transformed over to Saturday Night Live, but like
Sure.
there was a lot of ego talk about like Bill Murray and Ghostbusters and some of those he did. Chevy Chase and the
Mhm.
movies he did, right? Very
Yeah.
big egos in those guys. Whereas
Yep.
like John Candy and those guys, they were just out having a good time.
Right, exactly. And that's again why they had so many really good pictures. Chevy Chase, like you said, he had a big ego. He was kind of hard to work with. The fact that he managed to do several National Lampoons, although they are hilarious, it was kind of hard to believe he did get so many of those because he was hard to work with. And every show he's ever done on TV, like he's there for a season or two and then he's got to go because it costs a lot and he's difficult to work with.
Yep, that's what happened with him at the college one. What the hell was that?
Community.
Yep, Community.
Yep. Which sucks because again, he's funny,
I think
but
there's a lot of it has to be a value added proposition too. I mean, let's be honest.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then you got guys like Danny DeVito, right? Where for that first season of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, he was so expensive that they had to film all of his scenes in like 3 days by himself with none of the actors there. And then they had to edit the rest of the show around his scenes. And you really couldn't even tell that he wasn't there. Like you really did think they were all together for that. But then after that, like he was able to, the show made enough money that they were willing to pay to have him come back, and because he wasn't supposed to be in any more of it either. but they were like, no, this worked really well together. We want to see what you guys actually do when you're all on screen together. So they worked out a deal to have it work. And somehow that show's still going. They're still doing seasons, which is nuts. Or did it end now? I think it's still going.
I don't know. I don't know what's. I know it's had a lot of seasons, so considering.
Yeah. Surprising amount of seasons. We'll put it that way. A surprising amount.
Yeah.
Because really, a show about such awful people, you don't expect to be able to go on.
No, you don't expect it.
That
But
show's
let's be
hilarious, though.
And lasted for a long time, and they were kind of people.
That's true. That's true.
I
Well,
think
The
people
Simpsons
are
is a pretty awful family. They've been on for what, 25, 30 years now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but the difference between The Simpsons being awful and My Always Sunny, or It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia awful, is the fact that most of us can relate to The Simpsons here and there.
Yeah, true.
Sometimes.
I don't think any of us have dipped down as bad as the people from It's
Some days
Always
I feel like Homer. Some days I feel like Bart.
Right? Bart still can be my hero from day to day. Just like, Bart wouldn't take this crap. If he had a headset and a remote job working from home, he'd be taking down phone numbers to call later.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't, but I ain't gonna lie, I've thought about it. Like, oh yeah, you want to be a jerk to me? Well, write down your phone number and address. No, I can't do that. I don't do that. So other things on the horizon that are coming up, we're going to be doing a Dick Tracy episode coming up soon.
On the Frenzy?
No. Well, yes and yes. We're going to do some talking about Dick Tracy on the Clubhouse, and that's going to kickstart us into moving it onto an episode of the Frenzy. Bobby's going to be joining us for... not, of course, this Saturday night's Invasion, but I think it's Saturday after that. We're going to talk up some Dick Tracy toys, and then we're going to do an entire The Frenzy about Dick Tracy and all of its different media. So that's going to be exciting.
Interesting.
For sure.
Interesting.
Earlier today, I was trying to finally figure out how this cape goes on Baron Volliger, and I gotta say, I just can't seem to get the folds.
The folds act weird on the capes for me because it seems like it should go a certain way, and then when they have double holes, you're just like, where the hell does the second one go? Does it go in the same hole? It does. It doesn't look right.
Some of them, it's very clear that it just kind of like wraps around to the front kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, But this
it would be nice if there was like instructions. Just saying.
That I was going to say that's probably my biggest gripe with Mythic Legions is that they have these little soft goods and everything, and they don't really talk about. Well, you put it like this, and then everybody just says, "Go watch a video on YouTube." Well, I looked at a couple of different videos on YouTube, and every time I type in Baron Volliger's cape, it's always somebody with a third-party better cape for Baron Volliger. So that's just telling me I need to go buy a third-party better cape because nobody can figure out how that one goes.
There's him with a little more detail.
I dig it.
Pops a little better. He was bugging me, being just solid gray. I was just like, that's not working. We got to give him something. Give him a little pop.
So used to being in the captain's chair when it's all three of us. I literally went to go enlarge your screen and realized I couldn't. Flashbacks from Clubhouse.
Yeah. I can't do it. I guess
We
Ed
lost Ed.
We lost Ed. Excuse me.
We're a man down, man down.
Come here. Hey.
So now I'm in trouble because I'm looking at Star Wars
My
toys
grand
again.
kitty Casper.
Hi, Casper.
Because he hides like a ghost.
Oh,
You're mad at me because I picked you up?
Casper, you don't got to be scared of us.
He doesn't like Papa picking him up. He's fine coming to see me, but he's not so hot with me picking him up.
Some cats are like that. They just don't like being handled. Like they'll come over, they'll lay in your lap, they'll give you their attentions, but they don't like being picked up.
Not at all.
It's a shame. We only want to love on him.
I know. He's a sweet kitty. I was told he was evil, and then what's funny is like he'll do these where I'll be like petting him, and then he'll just randomly bite me.
Right.
I'm like, dude, seriously? But yeah, they were all like, he's just really standoffish, and of course, within the second day, he's up on my bed sitting with me getting pets. So it's like, yeah, he's standoffish, sure. Maybe it's just the people haven't been around. He just needed to pop up.
That's all it was.
Well, I'm at a stopping point, and I hope everybody had fun. I appreciate Oz and Ed dropping in and Ken dropping in. That was a surprise. I appreciate that. This is probably going to be my weekly time. Next week, I'm going to try to have a guest. I don't know who yet. I haven't reached out to anybody, so I will have to do that over the next few days, and see if somebody will be willing to come on. And we'll get back to the regularly scheduled programs. You know, I will talk toys. And then I will be in a different location to do that one because I won't be at the dining room table making a mess. Yeah. Oh, there's Bud. Hey, Bud, you're showing up. Dude.
Judd's here, but came to round it out with us.
He did. He came to say goodbye with us.
Oh,
But I appreciate everyone coming, but we do have
saw your
one important thing.
post, and I was like, I don't know what time that is my time, but I'll join.
We have one important thing. Because this always has to happen, and I have to find it. Where did it go? No. Where are you? There you are. What did everybody find joy in today? Me, I found joy in working on this custom. This is going to be me. So it's going to be very personal custom. Oz, what did you find joy in today?
Well, you know, I was hanging out, cleaning up, and I got this sudden invite from a good friend of mine. Said, hey, if you want to join. And I said, you know what? That actually sounds really good halfway through the week. Let me go hang out with my buddy for a while. And then my buddy showed up at the very end.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, now I get confused
Anything
whenever
that I enjoyed today?
edibles and pizza.
I ain't gonna lie, that sounds like a damn good time.
I knew that was coming.
You know,
Appreciate everybody checking us out. We will be back on a regularly scheduled, Wednesday from here on out, probably, unless I get sick or, whatever. Life happens. Oh, there's Ed back. Coming right back in the end.
Started raining. The Wi-Fi said it's raining. We don't work in the rain.
Well, apparently this Wi-Fi does okay until it just craps out in the middle of a live stream.
Right.
It's like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. What's up, bud?
Hard line.
Yeah.
So it won't be the Wi-Fi. But I appreciate everybody coming in and
Thanks for having us, dude.
I returned at least temporarily.
Yep, we're glad you're
Right.
back.
Yeah.
Everyone in the chat coming in, and those of you that watch this on replay, I appreciate your time. I know it's precious, and you're spending it with me, rambling about toys and customs and talking to my friends. You all have a good week, hopefully a good weekend, and be well. And if you can be anything, be kind.
Or be high.